Yo, what's good, everybody? RJ Shelton here, off the top show. Got my boy Tony Lip with me, per usual, on this good old Monday. Off the
You're
top show, nothing but sports talk here, and obviously current sports, talking about everything within the sports world. Let's hop right into it. Obviously, we got done with week 5, I'm assuming. I think it is now in the NFL. Could be wrong. Let me check here. I think it's week 5. Is it week 5?
yep.
Talk about week 5, but obviously our main focus here, NFC North. Let's go ahead and get right into it. Carolina Panthers versus the Detroit Lions. Detroit Lions, like I said last week, this is a stat stuffer, and it was a stat stuffer. They won 42-24. Jared Goff was 20 of 28 from the field, 236 yards, throwing for 3 touchdowns. David Montgomery, how about that guy being an addition to your guys' team, running the ball like you guys need to, and your will of what you're trying to do on an offensive side, being in the trenches and running the football downhill. 19 carries, 109 yards, 1 touchdown. And then Josh Reynolds, 4 receptions, 76 yards, 1 touchdown. I think there was a handful of guys that were over like 50 yards this game.
Yeah.
Let's talk about this Detroit Lions team, man. We are in week 5, and we're going to give a good little preview, obviously, after we get done with everything within the NFC North of what's going on. Number 1 in their division. I don't think Jared Goff has gotten sacked within 5 games. So the offensive line, I think, needs to be highlighted as well in this game. Well, in this season, or so far on, and what I'm trying to get at. They're doing what needs to be done. They're dominating on both ends on the D-line. They got great skilled players making plays when needs be. They're running the football. Defense is playing unreal from the back end in the secondary. I know they just lost somebody to torn ACL. Hopefully, brother, which is terrible, but hopefully he gets better. But let's talk about this, though. Detroit Lions are for real. It's week 5, people. It's week 5. It ain't week 4. It ain't week 3. It's week 5. We are 1/4 away done with the season. And if you're a Detroit Lions fan, I hope y'all got playoffs on your mind. I really hope you do. Because this is a real thing. Jared Goff is playing unreal. They're coached well. I'm really liking what I'm seeing from the Lions. Obviously, yes, it's a long season, but week 5, Lip, talk to me about your Lions and how you feel about them right now.
Hey, I'm feeling good about my Lions, man. I'm feeling good about what they got going on, man. Very, very, very efficient play, bro. Very efficient play. Jared Goff, 20 for 28, 236, 3 touchdowns. That's exactly where you want Jared Goff. You want him throwing right below 30 passes a game. High completion percentage, touchdowns, getting the ball to his weapons, a running game. I told you before the season that David Montgomery was going to bring more than Jamal Williams brought to that team last year. Jamal Williams is a great running back. He did his thing. I think he's out right now for the Saints. He's out for a few weeks. So David Montgomery, without Jamar Gibbs, without Ahmad St. Brown, you feel me? Without those guys, with Jamison Williams just coming back, he 19 carries for 109 yards. He's the first first running back in NFL franchise, in Lions franchise history to have a touchdown in each of their first 4 games as the player. He missed game 2, if I'm not mistaken. He missed game 2, but he played all other games. Damn near had over 100 yards in all of them. He's that muscle. And then Craig Reynolds came in, and he was running the ball hard and tough, 7 carries for 52 yards. So that's over 150 yards rushing the ball. And what we say about rushing the ball, if you rush for over 150 yards, you're usually going to what?
Win the game.
There we go. Then you had him distributing the ball
Win the game
to Josh Reynolds, 4 for 76, a touchdown. Sam Laporta, baby Greg Kittle, 3 for 47, 2 touchdowns. Khalif Raymond, 3 for 45. Marvin Jones, 2 for 22. Montgomery, 2 for 20. Like these guys, and Jameson only had 1 catch. We had 2 catches for 2 yards. That ain't about shit. But he's just getting his feet wet into it as well. So you had two of the Lions playmakers out of the game, and Gibbs and Brown, and they're still able to have a convincing, dominant win over a team that's, they losing a lot of games. They're young at that team, but their defense is pretty good. Like, I would like to think that the Carolina Panthers defense got some guys on that defense that can play some, high quality football. So in order to walk in there, get 42 points, it's like now the Detroit Lions is expecting to win games now. Like, there's games that like, hey, bro, we gonna win this game. Like, we ain't losing this game. You feel me? Like, we ain't losing. And I commend them for that because they lost the game at home versus the Seahawks after they beat the. If they end up playing the Seahawks in the playoffs, they're gonna beat the Seahawks. It's gonna be a good game. I know the Seahawks is dope. I know what they have. It's gonna be a good game. But I commend this Lions team, man. We playing with some grit, some grind. Hutchinson making plays. He out there. He got 4. I just seen a stat that said he has 4 interceptions in his career. I don't think he had no interceptions at Michigan. He got 4 interceptions right now. Did you see the interception he had?
Yes, I saw it on the highlights. Unreal.
Bro, savvy, crazy play. I was watching it live, like, bro, this dude good, bro. Like,
Right.
his awareness and his skill level and all of that shit is live, bro. Defense playing well. Like you said, we just lost a corner. Tore his ACL last year, got paid, came back in this game and tore his other ACL. Like, that shit is depressing, bro. That shit.
It is.
I'm definitely praying for his mental health and all of that shit, bro, because y'all understand what players go through with that shit, like getting your like career just potentially ripped away right off the back. Like, you can't even praying for you, dog. But the defense playing well, bro. Defense playing hard nosed. They playing fast. You can't run the ball on them like that. They barely gave up. Hubbard 9 carries for 35 yards. Miles Sanders 7 carries for 32 yards. These are guys that damn near had over 1,000 yards last year. I think Hubbard almost had 1,000 yards, and Miles Sanders led the lead in rushing yards last year with, I think, over like 1,400. And they coming into Detroit, and it's a standard that Detroit Lions play with right now. And I'm excited to see that shit happen. Detroit, we own, bro. We top 4 teams. I think they're gonna place the 3 seed in the NFC. It's gonna go it's gonna go 49ers, Eagles, then Lions right after that. And they're gonna be playing the 6 seed, and they're gonna win. And it's gonna get mucky. But I love what Dan Campbell is doing. I love what this team. I love the heart and the spirit and the attitude this team playing with. I'm just excited to see this shit, bro. I'm from the D, so I'm excited to see this type of brand of football, bro, because it definitely represents the type of blue collar, gritty and grimy city that we is. So Lions, hey, don't be surprised they're in the Super Bowl. I've been saying it. Don't be surprised. That's it.
I'm with you on that one. But let's talk about a team that needs that type of grit, needs that type of just awareness within not only coaching but players. Minnesota Vikings lost against the Kansas City Chiefs 27-20. These Vikings, man, goodness gracious. Kirk Cousins, 29 of 40 from the field, 284 yards, throwing 2 touchdowns. Alexander Mattison, 8 carries, 26 yards, had a touchdown off a little screenplay. Jordan Addison had 6 receptions for 64 yards, 1 touchdown. JJ came out due to hamstring, which is not good, for this team. KJ had 5 receptions for 49 yards. Brandon Powell came in late, obviously, when JJ came out, had 4 receptions for 43 yards. TJ Hawkinson, 5 receptions for 51 yards. He came out hurt as well, I think, or came out or came back in, but I think he's good. This team, man, obviously I was there, attended. There is no sense of urgency when you watch the Minnesota Vikings. They come out, right? You go ahead. You've been preaching, don't fumble the football. You've been doing all this work that you've been doing since the previous, the last game coming in. Ball security, high and tight. What do they do the first play? Fumble the football. You are at home. This is a primetime game. This is a game where everyone needs to be on the same page. Everyone needs to go ahead and do what needs to be done for them to go ahead and win this game or have a potential opportunity to win. And there was no plays being made. Coaching was nowhere to be found. Granted, you can go ahead and say, oh, the refs missed a call. Yeah, they did. They missed some. They missed one. They missed one, and the guy had taken his helmet off, and they told him to put it back on.
Oh, yeah.
That's the only one. But all those other ones, you need to make plays. Like, the O-line for the Vikings is atrocious. It is terrible to watch. Because the D-line was doing what they needed to do last night. They were getting to Patrick Mahomes. Patrick Mahomes should have had 3 interceptions that game because he was just throwing the football up. And again, that comes to where guys are not making the right plays or not trusting their instincts. Byron might be saying his name wrong. Their safety. No, not Murphy. The other one. 24.
Bynum.
Same thing. But prime example, lollipop throw by Patrick Mahomes, and he gets mossed. He just mistimed his jump. It's like little janky things like that to where it's like these players for the Vikings on the defensive side are not trusting their own abilities. And it's like with Blackman, literally another just air pop ball. Like, bro, catch the ball. Catch the ball.
Corner spot.
Catch the ball. I was like, brother, yes, brother. Whenever I talk like this, because I like to get this out, I know what you're thinking, but you need to make the play. Like, ain't no, like, I see where you can, but no, like that primetime moment in that type of game, especially the ball was there for you to go ahead and make a play on, you got to make those plays. You have to. And it just goes around for everybody. Like, it's just, I don't know where they are mentally. I don't know if they're doing too much from an offensive standpoint and they're not keeping it basic or they're not doing this, that, and the third, or, is it more of, okay, well, we have TJ, we have JJ, but I feel like they're just not getting everybody involved. But you can't do anything, number one, if the O-line is not going ahead and be able to go ahead and have a front for Kirk Cousins to throw the football or being able to run the football. I mean, for God's sakes, what is this, week 5? For the 4 week or up to these weeks, they haven't had over 100 yards rushing. The closest that they ever had was against the Carolina Panthers. That was only one game. They used to have Dalvin Cook here who used to be running that ball over 100 every time he touched it. So I don't know what's going on with these Minnesota Vikings, man, but I'll tell you one thing. This game that's coming up in Chicago, that's the Super Bowl for both teams. So talk to me about this, from a Vikings perspective, and then obviously you can talk about your Kansas City Chiefs. They played, even though Patrick Mahomes was throwing that thing around wildly, they did what they needed to do. But talk to me about these Minnesota Vikings and what you think right now, realistically, what needs to happen for them to have any type of season that they portrayed to have this before the season started.
Well, it's definitely going to be tough if the best player on your team is out. Obviously, we see that Justin Jefferson left with a hamstring.
Yep, hamstring.
Not knowing, how long he's going to be out. Hamstrings and wide receivers, like, you spend time running, you're getting pulled this way, that way, twitching this way, that way. You want to be at least 90% healthy with the hamstring. Who knows how long he's going to be out. But him being out, that ain't going to be good for nobody. Like, that's not going to be good for nobody, especially knowing that you can't hand the ball off to somebody and they give you a 100-yard rushing game. They traded for Cam Akers. He only had 2 carries. No, he had 5 carries for 15 yards. I remember coming into the season, I said this was going to be more of a passing team. This is going to be more of a Kirk come out there and throw the ball 47 times, and let's see what happens. And he threw the ball 47 times, 284 yards, 2 touchdowns. Right. He got sacked 3 times. I knew this was going to be that type of team because with the whole contract stuff going on, him going into his last year of the deal, him wanting to be extended, the coach and the organization not knowing if they want to give him that grace and, continue to move forward with him. So he probably thinking the same. Do I want to really strain for y'all like that? You feel what I'm saying? Like, I'm not saying he is. I'm not saying he's not.
But that's a factor. No, that's a factor. That is a big-time factor. But carry on.
It is. Like, it's something you got to think about. It's something you can't just be like, I go to another situation. And I'm going to be very brief with that one. The Broncos. You see how they dragging Russell Wilson through the mud? You think he want to go out there and give it his all for Sean Payton that's basically been kind of threw him under the bus multiple times already? You think he want to give it all for him? I don't know, bro. I think that's just the human nature of who we are. It's like, bro, I'm not about to, you feel me? I'm not about to keep being nice to you and keep playing sweet with you if you ain't doing that back. You feel me? I'm going to show you that other side. But back to the Vikings, man, it's not clicking right now. This is not their year. You can tell, like, last year they had a lot of wins where it was last possession. There was a 1 touchdown game. There was like 11-1 in that, right? That was still tough to do. Like, that takes a lot out of you, bro. Like, that takes a lot out of you. Like the Lakers having to win 20 games in the last 25 games to make the playoffs. That takes a lot out of you going into the playoffs. It's like you already playing from behind. And they just don't have it right now, bro. Obviously, there's some internal things going on with the organization. Justin Jefferson, he keep hearing about the contract talk. He keep having to talk about that. That's getting to him. It's a lot going on with the organization, bro. So they just have to figure it out, man. It's gonna be hard to figure it out with number 18, bro. I'm telling you that right now. It's gonna be hard to figure it out with no running game and without number 18 out there. Let me move over real quick to the Chiefs. I'm not even gonna talk about the Chiefs offense. We know the Chiefs offense, they're pretty good. They established a running game where they can, run in good spaces. 16 carries for 55 yards per Pacheco. That's pretty cool. I mean, that's more of his speed, probably 10, 15 more yards or less. That's a positive rushing game. That's probably 4 yards a carry. That's pretty good. So I'm not even gonna talk about their offense. Travis Kelce, he was good. He got hurt, came back, 10 catches, 67 yards. That's T. Kelce. I'm gonna talk about their defense and the job that they did on Justin Jefferson before he got hurt. Bro, these DBs, they ain't got no names. Like, they ain't big name. They ain't all Pro Bowls. But Snead, McDuffie, Cook, Justin Reed, Mike Edwards. Yeah, I know my ball. I know the guys back there. I know the guys.
Hello, you dropping names.
I know the guys. Even Watson, number 35.
Mm-hmm.
They can fucking play, bro. They can play. They play competitive, challenging football. It's like they play with the spirit that they know they in it every time because they got Patrick Mahomes. And when you don't have a quarterback in this league, bro, it's hard to go out there every series and give it your all because you know that this motherfucker probably gonna give you 3 and out.
Right.
You got to save it for that. You can't go out there and just leave it all on line this drive because you might be out there in 3 more plays after that because this quarterback can't get it done on 3rd and 5. They don't have that problem. It was a 3rd and 10 yesterday with Patrick Mahomes, and I was like, hey, this is where you want to be. This Patrick Mahomes, 3rd and 10, like, this a regular down to him.
Right.
So, shout out to the defensive plan, Steve Spagnuolo, Chris Jones. They had 3 sacks. Shout out to the plan that they have for this offense, bro. And the Chiefs are low-key a top 10 defense right now. Like, I could pull up the numbers and check and see if because I know they in there, but their defense been playing really damn well this year. Really well. So, shout out to Kansas City, man. The Vikings got to figure it out, man. If they don't, they're going to have a long seat. They bet not lose to the Bears. Knowing the Bears is coming off a good win.
And they at the crib?
And they at the crib off a 10, 11-day off.
And JJ's questionable?
And JJ's questionable.
I mean, I already know. I personally already know what the cure can be, but JJ is questionable.
Like, bro, the Chiefs defense is giving up like 20 points, 9 points, 10 points, 20 points, 20 points. So that's 1 to 2 touchdowns a game. You can win with that. You can in today's league, where this is an offensive league, where you feel me? This is an offensive league. Like, no, yeah, there's some dope defenses out there, but this is an offensive league. But if you can have teams scoring 1 or 2 touchdowns a game and that's it, you put yourself in a great position, especially when you know you got the fucking greatest quarterback of all time. That's your quarterback right now, and this dude is only 28. Ooh-wee.
Yeah, no, and just to end this and going in obviously to today's game, Packers versus Raiders. Just to conclude this one, man, with the Vikings. I mean, the biggest thing now, you gotta figure out, number one, if you really want this or not. And you hit it already on the head, and that just was stuck with me when you got done talking. You got to figure out what's going on. Like, JJ situation, okay, cool. Kurt situation, cool, okay. They're not in the moment. They don't realize, number one, these games that they've played, they've all been close games. It ain't like they've not been in the game. It's not like they've not put themselves in a position to win the football game. It's when they have those opportunities to go ahead and maximize, and they don't do it. From an individual standpoint, from a coaching standpoint, from a whole organization standpoint. And realistically, the organization standpoint really don't matter. It's about the players and the coaches at this point. And when it comes to being called whatever's called, we've all been in that situation. If it ain't the play call you like or this, that, and the third, make it work. Because at the end of the day, you got to win your one-on-one battles, and they're not winning their one-on-one battles when they need to. So this is the Super Bowl for Minnesota Vikings fans and Chicago, because if you so happen to lose Chicago Bears, it's going to be very hard for y'all to go ahead and get into the postseason. I'm going to leave it at that. But let's go ahead and move.
They ain't making the playoffs, bro.
Well, there you go. You heard from my co-host that knows me the best. They're not making the playoffs. So let's carry on.
I know you want them to, bro.
Let's carry on.
1-4?
Let's carry on. Let's carry on. But obviously today here, 7:15 p.m., got the Green Bay Packers versus the Las Vegas Raiders. I think this is going to be a very great football game tonight. Obviously, we know Jordan Love coming off that loss, but this is another Monday night game. You talked about this last week when we rolled into the weekend. This is his first Monday night game. We have very good history with Packer players, especially at the quarterback position, playing on Monday nights. I have in my decade, so I think he's going to have a monster game this year. The Raiders defense, from a secondary standpoint, I don't think that they're going to give us too many problems. But at the end of the day, I'm not worried about the Raiders. I'm worried about what the Packers are going to do, get the running game going. I think we have Aaron Jones back as well. We're full. I think we're full tilt with everybody. So I just want to go ahead and see a normal running game. I want to see just normal things that we did and continue to do is just obviously, when it's third downs, keep moving the chains on the offensive side. And when the defense is out there, get off the field. So
is this the first week they got all their weapons like healthy?
I think so.
Together?
Yep. This is everyone's healthy.
That's going to be pretty good. Go ahead.
Yep. But I think the biggest thing, the key components to winning this game for the Packers, and then obviously you can get into this as well because I can sit and talk about the Packers all day. Mm-hmm. We need to go ahead and score every time we're on the field. Touchdowns, not 3 touchdowns. Because they got 17 over there, and Mr. Devonta Adams, that's going to be ready to go ahead and have 250 yards and 3 touchdowns. And that's what he's going to be on. Him and Jai Alexander. Alexander's going to have a huge game. The secondary's going to have a huge game because they're going to have to contain that man. I don't care. You can double team him, triple team him. He still makes plays. So the biggest thing is we got to go ahead and make sure that man 17 on that opposite end, and Devonta Adams is covered and somehow have someone else beat us. Not him, because that's just only going to go ahead and get the crowd into it, and you know how that affects the game. But we need to do that, and then the offensive end, obviously running the football, doing what needs to be done, not shooting ourselves in the foot, and making plays. Obviously, I got the Packers in this one. What is your, outlook, coming into this game and being a fan, or who you got looking for this game to win, and what you're looking for?
First off, I'm starting. I got the Packers winning as well. I like what Jordan Love's doing. He has 900 passing yards this year, 8 touchdowns, 3 interceptions. That's pretty good for his first 4 starts of his career. That's pretty.
Would have never thought that he would be at that in week 5. I was already predicting him to have like 2 touchdowns, 2 interceptions. Being even killed. But continue.
Like you said, they got their full arsenal back. They didn't have 11 days to practice as well. They played last Thursday, and now they playing on a Monday night. So they didn't have time to get healthy, to be with each other, to scheme things up. Like, this is like their first time of having all of their weapons. So it's going to be good for Jordan Love in the growth of his game, having Christian Watson, Romeo Doubs, Jaden Reed, like you said, Aaron Jones, the 2 rookie tight ends, Musgrave, and the other dude. I don't know the other dude's name. You probably know him. I think he's from Oregon State. Oregon got an Oregon State one, and they got the dude from Georgia.
No, he's from South Dakota or something like that. Let me see.
Oh no, that's Georgia. You wanted him to draft. He went to Pittsburgh. Yeah, that's me.
No, you good.
So they have weapons, bro, and like I said, having the 11 days off, I think that's gonna play very, very great into what we're going to see from them and what we're going to see from their offense. It's like kind of having like a mini bye week, you feel me? Having 11 days off. The last time we seen them on TV, they got they got beat down by the Lions, man, at their own crib. So I know they want to go into somebody else's spot and, take it there with them. I'm excited to see this Jair Alexander. I got it right there, right? I be fucking up his name all the time. Talking about
I be
lateral.
too though. I be saying it. Wow.
But like I said, bro, this is one of my favorite corners to watch, bro. And I'm glad he back because I seen that he's back. He will play tonight. He will be going up against his former teammate that he went up against for years and years, every day, spring ball, OTAs, off-season training if they train together, practice, training camp. Now you get to put it out there on the film and go against Devontae Adams and let him know, like, hey, I'm really like that. I was like that in practice, but I'm showing you I'm really like that. So I'm tuned into that matchup, man. I think it's gonna be a great game. I'm definitely gonna stay up and watch the whole game tonight. Like I said, I got the Packers, man. I think Jordan Love gonna come out here. He's gonna be the best quarterback on the field tonight. I think this is one of those games where he throws for 230, around 230, 3 touchdowns. He might rush for a touchdown, and a running game get going. You got to have your running game on the road. You got to have your running game, and I think you get Christian Watkins the ball too. I think this is the game where he showed, okay, I'm back now. He was out for like the first 3 games, came back a little bit. One of those we came back a little bit, but now it's time for him to probably go over 100 yards and get in the end zone and elevate this offense even more. So I'm tuned into this game, man. Like I said, the matchup I'm looking at is 23 versus 17, and I got the Packers to win it.
Yes, sir. And I'm gonna leave it at that. But now let's go on and just overview, right? Obviously, we're week 5 here in the NFC North. You have your Lions 4-1 at number 1, Packers 2-2 at 2, Vikings 1-4 at 3, and the Bears 1-4 at 4. Obviously, Vikings and Bears are 0-3 in the division, and the Packers, I think, they're 1-1 in the division, and then obviously the Lions are 3-0 in the division because they beat all the teams that they played, especially or 2-0 in the division. But anyways, what I'm saying is, Lions are at the helm. So shout out to your Lions. Let's move on over to some other games as well within the week 5, kind of some hot ones that I think were key games. We're definitely going to talk about that Cowboys 49ers at the end. Yikes. But Jags versus Bills. Jags beat the Bills 25-20. Jags are 2-0 over in London. That's cool that they stayed over there for like 2 weeks. That's definitely given the edge of being over there, being able to chill, get accustomed to everything. They're gonna have to switch that up though. I don't like how they just chilling there for 2 weeks and they just
the London Jaguars is coming soon.
Man, or we about to be having football in London, or what we doing, man? What we trying to do?
I'm telling you, half of their home games is gonna be over there. Like that's how they gonna implement it because they ain't just gonna start drafting team players and they have to move all the way up to London.
Right.
But they gonna cut it down and half of their games is gonna be in London. They already had 2 weeks in a row.
That's crazy.
And every time you see a London game, the Jags are always there.
Always. But yeah, no, that was wild. I think Colts. Yeah, Colts. That might be a little upset there, but go in for the Colts, 23-16 against the Tennessee Titans. I watched a little bit of highlights of this one. The Steelers versus Ravens. You want to talk about always a dogfight between the two teams. There's so much rich history between the Baltimore Ravens and the Pittsburgh Steelers. Steelers won that one at home. I think that was a very good win, especially division win for Kenny Pickett and obviously his Steelers. It was a terrible loss by the Ravens. You want to talk about opportunities not being made? You got Bates dropping the ball in the end zone. You got Flowers dropping the ball. You got guys not making timely plays when need be. You can go ahead and talk about this because I feel you want to go ahead and talk about Lamar.
Yeah, I watched that game, bro, and I was. That game was. First off, it was so damn slow. Like it was so slow. It wasn't like an old school physical Pittsburgh versus Raven games that we know of. It was drops, bro. From the first drive, Flowers dropped like a over route where he could have caught it and he was about to catch it and spin back and reverse back, but he didn't. He just dropped it. It literally just went right through his hands. Nelson Aguilar, right through his hands. Bateman, right through his hands.
Bro, that one right there, like I love Bateman. I met him one time when I was here in Minneapolis. He's a good dude. But it's like, brother, man, like how I understand from like we both play wide receiver position, but it's just like that shouldn't happen.
Like, bro, I would
That
be
shouldn't
mad at
happen.
you if you was 11 years old and you did that in a PAL game, Pop Warner game. I would be like, bro, what the fuck are you doing? This the big leagues, bro. Like
For real. For
this the
real.
boy leagues, bro. Like
Man.
uncontested, wide open, touch both of your hands. It's like you playing volleyball. I was like, bro, this game was just slow, bro. Like the Ravens gave this game away. It was so many missed opportunities from them. Outside of the drops, it was
Right.
so many missed opportunities, bro. Like that offense still looked mucky, bro. It still looked like what the fuck is going on? And it's just games like this were like, hey, Lamar, you gotta win, bro. You gotta win, bro. Like you gotta win, bro. I understand people was dropping the ball and stuff, but it's certain quarterbacks, even with all of that shit going on, they gonna find a way to win that game. They gonna find a way. We see it. We see it. Joe Burrow. Some guys be dropping ball. We see him win games like that. We see Patrick Mahomes win games like that. Bro, Jalen Hurts. Some people dropping the ball. Him getting yelled at on the sideline by his number one receiver, cussing them out. They still find ways to be 5-0. You can't do that, bro. The Ravens got two terrible losses this year to the Colts and to the Colts. They lost at home to the Colts. Then they just lost this game where it was up 10. They was up the whole game.
Right.
Wide receivers got to make plays. But I'm not just going to blame it on Lamar because wide receivers dropped balls that was touchdowns if they would have just caught the ball.
He made one bonehead throw to OBJ, forcing it. That was an interception. So he's in the mix, too. He didn't need to throw that ball to him.
And that's a red zone. Like, you turn it over in the red zone, bro. At the end of the day, you can't do that shit, bro.
Right.
Can't. Throw it out of bounds. Throw it where only your receiver can catch it.
Right.
Only him. If he can't catch it, throw it low, out of bounds, something. So you can still go up 13-0 instead of it being a turnover. And now they have momentum at their place. Bad ball by the Ravens yesterday. Bad ball. Pickens balled out, though.
Who was just about to go ahead and bring him up, even though they had the little whatever they needed to do to not capitalize on drives and stuff with the Ravens. But that boy right there, Pickens, I watched the highlights. He was getting busy. You know who he looked like? You know who he looked like out there?
Go ahead.
Antonio Brown, boy. New version of Antonio Brown doing what he was doing out there. He does whatever he wants to do out there. What I saw with my two eyes, he is at a level where he does whatever he wants to do, and you not stopping him because he's that good. If Pickett has time to throw the football,
yeah,
and Mr. 14 is open, that connection's getting done. I
don't even think he got to be open because I seen him make some catches yesterday that was very contested, like very.
Yeah.
They right on him. He's a big contested 50-50 ball catching guy. He just gotta calm down, bro.
Yeah.
Like it's like when he catch the ball, he just gets so fucking wild, bro. Like catch the ball, it's like he on 100. He don't know how to just be like. But it's probably just him. He probably been that way his whole life. It's probably just how he plays, how he keeps himself engaged with the game. That's all good and dandy. But hey, he made some big plays yesterday. Big touchdown to end the game. You can't be press 0 with no safeties in press, not knowing that he gonna throw a fade ball. That's one-on-ones. That's literally what one-on-ones look like. No safety. Everybody is 9 people in the box, and this man press
everywhere.
That's one-on-ones, bro.
Yes.
And now I'm gone. But we can proceed, bro. Ravens bad loss, bro. They got to tighten up.
Absolutely. And then you talked about Jalen Hurts. Obviously, his Eagles won 23-14. That was a good little game with the Rams there. He was 25 of 38 from the field, 303 yards, 1 touchdown, 1 interception. A.J. Brown, obviously, regardless of what he's talking about on the sidelines, still continues to go ahead and start balling. 6 receptions for 127 yards. I like his game a lot. I respect his game more and more each year because he makes plays. It ain't
Yeah.
no like if that ball is going his way, he's catching the football. And he's a definitely key factor on their team. And obviously Matthew Stafford, 21 of 37 from the field, 222 yards, 2 touchdowns. Williams had 53 yards off of 13 carries. Kupp came back, and there was just one drive where it was the Cooper Kupp show. 8 receptions for 118 yards. Definitely a guy that's top 5, top 10 for sure, in my opinion, when it comes. So it was good to see him back out there because he's done a lot to impact this league. So it's good to see those monument guys back in and playing. But it was the Eagles show. They won 23-14. This is a great win for them to be 5-0. This team's definitely going to go ahead and be possibly in the playoffs, for sure in the playoffs, but chasing that ring again like they were last year.
Hey, Jalen Hurts slick having a dominant year again, and people ain't talking about it.
They never will, bro. You know he always going to be the victim.
They kind of waiting on him to fall. They waiting on him to fall, but he ain't falling. 370 plus total yards, 2 touchdowns, 2 receivers over 100 yards, 5-0, and people saying, "Oh, they the Eagles. We just don't know. They still 5-0."
How do you don't know if you're 5-0? Let's make it make sense, people.
Right.
They're not the 76ers, so give them their credit. But then obviously the 2 games I want to get to before I get to the last one here, because this is definitely what we're going to be talking about for some time. Jets won against the Broncos 31-21. Broncos stink.
Yeah.
But let's go ahead and talk about this Cowboys 49ers. All of America here, you have seen, and we have seen this for multiple years. Cowboys go ahead and do their thing until they play a real team. They played a real team in the 49ers, and you guys got dog walked. Brock Purdy is now, in my book, a top 5 quarterback that is definitely going to be in the race for MVP this year.
Top 5?
The way he's playing right now, he is going to be in top 5.
Ooh,
and the only reason why I say that is because I'm going to tell you this right now, because the way that this team runs on all cylinders from an offensive and defensive and coaching perspective, their coaches know their players, and they put them in the right position, and they make it easy to go out and play the game of football. Brock Purdy, 17 of 24 from the field, 252 yards passing, 4 touchdowns. Jordan Madison, 10 carries for 69 yards, 1 touchdown. Kittle getting reactive into the game. 3 receptions, 67 yards, 3 touchdowns. And obviously they have Debo. They got other guys in there that are doing their thing. I'm sure they were probably over 50 yards. Yeah, 50 yards. The ball is being distributed as a team, as a whole. They got playmakers, obviously. They got guys, key guys. But their coaching staff gets everybody involved. And they know what they're doing. They know their personnel. Their defense is freaking insane. Fred Warner is the best middle linebacker I've ever seen with my 2 eyes.
He nice.
He is the best linebacker I've ever seen with my 2 eyes.
Damn, that's
That
really
is a very steep thing to say, what I'm saying right now. But he is unreal.
Short tackler.
Interception, forced fumble. Had 13 tackles probably. I'm looking, how many tackles he had? 5 tackles, 2 or 3 assists. But anyways, basically what I'm saying is the defense on their back end is good. They got a great coaching staff. They got the great tight end. They got the great quarterback. They got the great running game. They got the great scheme. If we would go ahead right now and say week 5, what team will win the Super Bowl right now, it would be the San Francisco 49ers with no problem. And they would run through any other 31 teams that are in the NFL with no problem.
Big facts.
So go ahead and talk about this game here. And for Dallas, I'm going to let my brother go ahead and let you Dallas fans know what the real thing is, because I forgot to totally talk about you guys. But go ahead, brother.
Hey. First off, that was a straight ass whooping last night. And I stayed up for all 60 minutes of it.
Same.
I was up to the last second of it. Like, bro, this team. I've always thought Purdy was good. When I first seen him play, the first like 3 or 4 games I seen him play for them last year, I'm like, bro, they found their quarterback. They found him. They found him, bro. He run that offense pretty damn well, bro. He ain't high maintenance. He's a playmaker at quarterback. Like he ain't no manager. Yeah, he can, but he can manage too. You have to be able to manage in order to be a playmaker. You know what I'm saying? Like, I think the standard version of a quarterback is to manage the game. But then it's another level to that. Are you like really
Excuse me.
managing the game? And then it's another level. Like, are you a playmaker now? Are you the reason they're winning? I understand they have a lot of weapons around them, but it's a lot of weapons around Tua too. It's a lot of weapons around Joe Burrow. You feel me? I mean, it was a lot of weapons around Patrick Mahomes when he had Kelsey and Tariq Hill. There's a lot of weapons then too. So you're gonna have to have weapons, bro. He is too good, bro. He too good, bro. The way he accurate, he can throw the ball, timing, on time. Like the only reason he was 17 for 24 last night, and I think 3 of them was batted down passes. He had a couple plays. He had threw an out route to Brandon Ayuk. It had got called back because of like a face mask, somebody off his line. But man, that shit was so crispy, bro. Right on his break, pow, caught it, turned up on the sideline, damn near almost scored. They got called back. He come back the next play and throw a dagger route. That's the seam for the slot route, a dig route for the outside receiver, right over the linebackers, in between the safeties, right in the perfect window. The buzz safety wasn't able to fly over there. He was trying, but he couldn't get there because of timing. Caught it right in stride. Cool. And caught it, ran for another 20 yards. But this dude good, bro. He a gamer, bro. And that's what I seen when I seen him come in after Jimmy G got hurt last year. When I seen him come in, I'm like, bro, that dude is a gamer. I seen it right off the bat. That's why I was like, bro, if he healthy, he's the quarterback. I don't care about no Trey Lance, Jimmy G, none of them. If you couldn't get Aaron Rodgers, then Brock Purdy was gonna be your quarterback. They just straight whooped their ass. And it wasn't like their receivers was getting off like that. They didn't have like crazy amount of yards. They didn't have, Christian McCaffrey didn't have, he had 50 yards rushing, 51 yards rushing, 19 carries for 51 yards rushing, 2.7 yards a carry. So it wasn't like he was, how Christian McCaffrey be having 150 yards, 70-yard runs. No, it was Brock Purdy. They defense cold too. We already know about the 49ers defense. Them boys nasty. But
Crazy.
if there was a team that was going to win the Super Bowl, I had to say that was going to win the Super Bowl right now, it'd be the 49ers. Let's talk about these Cowboys. They suck. And I'm not even going to say they suck because that's kind of harsh. They don't suck. But there's a ceiling on this team. There's a ceiling. Number 4, I was one of the ones that was glad when Dak Prescott got paid because I wanted him to get paid. But he got paid. So, congratulations. He weak as fuck, dog. I don't want to sound harsh, but that's just I'm gonna tell you who you are. If you think I'm weak, then you can say I'm weak too. It's cool. But Dak weak, bro. 14 for 24, 153 yards. The interceptions he was throwing was, bro, why are you even throwing that? Overthrowing people, missing targets, late on throws. The offense looks so stale and stagnant. Wide receivers can't get open. What's happened to CD Lamb? Y'all keep telling me CD Lamb is one of the best receivers in the game. This is a game you got to show up on. You got to show up in these games. You got to show up. Tony Pollard, what's up? This Cowboys team has a ceiling on them. And I can continue to go in on this Cowboys team, but I'm not. I just don't think Dak is the guy. And if you told me if I was the GM of this team or whatever, the owner, whatever, and you told me that Dak is gonna want a $50 million raise next year, 50 maybe $60 million raise next year, and an extension on top of that, I would be like, bro, fuck no. I would be like, no. Dak has been there for 9 years. 9. Do you need to see more? Like I said, if Purdy was on the Cowboys, any of these last years when it was loaded, they probably would have won a Super Bowl already. Dak can't do it. It's a ceiling on his game. The more he throw the ball, the worse your team is. The more throws he has, the worse the team gonna be. So man, that's all I got about that, man. Cowboys, they've been beating on some bums. They lost the games to the Cardinals. Their first real test was on Sunday night, and they got spanked bad. And I think it would have been the same way even if it was in Dallas. So
I want to go ahead and throw out this stat too within this week, right? With Prescott. Quarterback rating here of what I'm seeing. 87.5, 5 touchdowns of 4 interceptions, a completion percentage of 69, and over 1,000 yards. This guy's been in the league for 9 years. 9 years. It's time to go ahead and move the needle with him. His time is done. You're not paying him. You're not doing this. It might have been different if Diggs was in there. I think they still would have lost. But if I was a Dallas Cowboys fan right now, I am sick of seeing this man at the quarterback position. You would have a better chance of putting Cooper Rush in there or Trey Lance, which they should have put him in the game.
yeah.
You might as well right now, Jerry, I'm talking to you. You might as well go ahead and start playing around with quarterbacks. Because you cannot have in a primetime game when you're playing a great opponent in the 49ers. This is a playoff game. You guys know what it is down the road when it gets down the line of who you're either going to play. It's either going to be them or another quality team just like the 49ers that have been in this position before. You know what you're getting out of Prescott, so why put yourself through it again? I'm just going to stay on the quarterback because you've hit everything else. But they still would have lost if Diggs was playing. 49ers are too good. But if you're a Dallas fan, man, get used to this year in and year out if number 4 is at the helm here, for you guys, because it's in his DNA. He cannot play in big time games and beat big time opponents. It's been like that ever since he's been in the league.
I'm going to always ask this, bro. Where is the Dak Prescott game at? Show me a game in his career where it's like, hey, he looked great. Like, show me that game where it's like, oh, he was the reason they won this game. He don't have one, bro. He don't have one. Where is the Dak Prescott moment? Where is the moment?
I don't know. That's why I'm not saying nothing, brother.
You don't have it, bro.
But no, it's stressful if you're a Cowboys fan seeing that because I feel it's repeated every year for you guys. But let's talk about obviously Brock Purdy here. I want to talk on this as well because this brother is playing unreal football as of right now through 5 weeks in the NFL season. 9 TDs, no interceptions, over 1,200 yards with a quarterback rating of 123.1.
Flawless.
Let me tell you this right now. If this brother if he's doing what he's doing right now, fishing football, right? Got one game over 300 yards, but right around probably average out that he's probably made like 250, 240 yards that he's probably projected to throw. This team's only going to go ahead and get better. He is definitely in that MVP race right now, especially after this game, playing America's quote-unquote team. This was a game that Purdy showed out. This is a game where Purdy now has to be in that conversation where he's in that MVP race without any hesitation. Those numbers within 5 weeks is ridiculous. No interceptions, playing against some of the best athletes that are putting pads on, coaches, all that, and you have 0 interceptions and 9 TDs. He's definitely going to be in that MVP talk. We're going to start hearing about that, but I definitely have him right now, and I say this with no hesitation. He's in the top 5 right now. This year, right now, he is playing lights out, and that team is rolling. So that is for the NFL. Let's move briefly over to the college football realm of things. Red River Classic or Red River Rivalry, however you want to say it. I watched this game fully through, and I tell you, that game was so fun to watch. Oklahoma Sooners beat the Texas Longhorns 34-30. Dylan Gabriel, quarterback for OU, 23 of 38 from the field, 285 yards passing, 1 touchdown. And did it running too. 14 carries, 113 yards, 1 touchdown. He was the whole offense. He was doing whatever he wanted to do out there, and I loved it. I loved after the game interview, I loved how he came down, poised, getting the ball in the fourth quarter, go ahead and take the lead. What do? Gets down in the red zone, 7 round the back of the end zone. I forget who the guy that caught it was, but that shot of them scoring, winning, that was like, I started getting goosebumps. Great game and great play by obviously Gabriel. I think we'll definitely see his name, if it's this year, whenever he comes out. And he was a lefty too, and he was putting the ball on the money. You want to talk about quick, decisive decisions with the football at the quarterback position, because you like to see that obviously in college. He was doing his thing. So talk to me about this game, or if you got anything briefly, because I'm going to go ahead and run through a couple other games as well. But what you got for this game?
No, it was a good game, man. I watched it. It was good quarterback play. Besides Quinn Ewers come out there and throwing 2 picks in the first quarter, if I'm not mistaken. But he bounced back with a better game. It was Oklahoma game from the start. They started the game off. They was making plays at the beginning. They had the lead for most of the game. Then it started going back and forth a little bit. But Oklahoma at the end, they did enough to win. They were the better team that day. The quarterback, like you said, 200 yards, 285 yards passing, 113 yards rushing. That sounds like a dominant day for me, honestly. That's a dominant day, almost 400 yards all purpose. Put the team on its back. And this will be probably one of the best performances in that rivalry as an Oklahoma quarterback. I'm sure of that. So, great matchup, man. Oklahoma came in and upset them, being the 12 seed and them being a 3 seed. So, Oklahoma just, kind of got people raising their eyebrows a little bit more. Okay, how good is this team? We see they're pretty good. So shout out to Gabriel, shout out to the Sooners, and I'm excited to see what college football look like, because you have no idea who really gonna win the championship this year. Not even Georgia. You don't know. You really don't know. So
Right.
I like that polarity of him in the NFL. It's pretty dope. College football. My bad.
No, you're good, brother. And then obviously moving on over some other games that I got highlighted here. Notre Dame played the Louisville Cardinals 33-20. I'll tell you one thing, brother. I don't know if you watched this, but that boy Jawar Jordan was toting that ball for Louisville, boy. 21 carries, 143 yards, 2 touchdowns. Did you watch any of this game at all or no?
I was watching most of it. I didn't watch the fourth quarter. I watched the first 3 quarters though. I was turning back between that and a couple more games, but I watched a little bit of it.
But that's all you need to know is that boy Jordan was toting that thing. Second half doing whatever. And within the box score here, they got majority of all their points obviously in the second half. For the Fighting Irishman, ooh-wee, that's not good losing with back-to-back games, especially against Louisville. Even though they were ranked higher, Louisville's a team, though. They got a good defense. Louisville defense was strapping when it came to crunch time from wide receivers, wide receivers, from DBs, doing need to be due from a coverage back end, D-line getting in there, creating chaos on third downs. This is a good Louisville team. They got that running game going, as you can see, with having a 100-yard rusher. Got some guys obviously on the back end too, catching the ball and throwing the football as well. But that was a good game. But that right there was the Jawar Jordan show, if you want my honest opinion.
Man, Notre Dame the lights just get too bright for them. I told you that's why I said one of them. That was one of my upsets. I knew going to Louisville at night game it was gonna be rocking. There was there's 25 seed versus the 10th seed.
Jack Harlow was there. Everybody was live.
Yeah, like bro, they just be Notre Dame be choking, bro. It's been like that for the longest, bro.
Yeah.
Notre Dame be choking. They lost to Ohio State. Choked that one off. Should have won that one. Lost that one. They barely beat Duke. Probably should have lost that one. These are 7:30 games too. Prime time at night. It's probably just getting too much for them. They ain't used to that type of shit, bro. Notre Dame, this ain't Notre Dame of years and years ago where they be acting like Notre Dame is just this historical. They ain't won shit in this decade or the decade before that. They ain't won nothing.
Right.
So the lights getting too bright for them. They just lost to Louisville. Next week they got USC at 7:30. So now they got Caleb Williams coming into their arena. How you think they're gonna play against him? So Notre Dame, bro, shaky.
It's not looking good for those guys. Then obviously the last two games here for the college football. Bills. Colorado Buffaloes finally got themselves a win. 4-2. Tough one in Arizona State, but that was a great win.
Yep.
Came down to a field goal. Boom. Made it. Won. 4-2. Great win. Shadur Sanders, 26-42 from the field, 239 yards. Throwing, 1 touchdown. Javante Antonio, 5 receptions, 81 yards, 1 touchdown. Who we got here? Hankerson, 10 carries, 58 yards. All in all, this is a good win for the Colorado Buffaloes. Kind of get back on track and to go ahead and, finish out what they need to do to get into a bowl game, which I think they will. And then obviously the last detail here, which was another great game. This game was going on until like 2 o'clock on Saturday night if you were in the Midwest. USC Trojans faced the Arizona Wildcats, and the USC Trojans won that one 43-41. If you were watching this game, Arizona was doing whatever they wanted to do. Like they were up, they were doing this, that, and the third. I was like, man, what's going on with Caleb Williams? But Caleb Williams had a Caleb Williams type of game. Came out slow. They went ahead and regrouped second half. And he did his thing. Caleb Williams, obviously, 14-25 from the field, 219 yards, throwing 1 touchdown, but I think had 3 rushing touchdowns when it came to it towards the end or however it was. But it was an MVP performance by him. After this game, and I had tweeted this, Caleb Williams is the real deal. Like, there's never been a quarterback, I feel, of my time, you see Johnny Manziel, right? You see guys like him impact a game. Like, he is the main focus, and that's the same thing that I'm getting with Caleb Williams. Caleb Williams can make any throw. He can go ahead and will his team to win, and he is a competitor. He is a gamer. He is someone that you want to have at your quarterback position to go ahead and lead your football team. But he showcased last night that he's the number one guy off the board. He showcased that even though that he's down, that he's going to will his team to win. He's going to go ahead and take it on him to make sure that his team gets the W. And I like guys that go ahead and do that because that means that they generally like that pressure. They're not phased of that. And this brother is going to be an unreal quarterback, and I can't wait to see what unfolds for him, if he stays at USC next year or just unfolds in front of him this year, because I think he definitely can go ahead and win another Heisman and be one of those few that win back-to-back. So talk to me about this game here. Huh?
He Heisman for sure this year. I think so.
But talk to me about, if you did watch this or any highlights or anything, or if you want to just probably eyes roll.
Wow, big snooze, boy.
But let's talk about, I know you like Caleb Williams, and I know you speak highly because we're going to get through it to where the season comes where we talk about guys and draft boards when that draft comes. But go ahead and talk your spiel, obviously, on Caleb Williams.
No, I'll be brief. I'll be quick. I watched the highlights. He just showed you that he can win in many ways. He just showed you that he's a winner, bro. 14 completions, 25 attempts, and he still finds a way to win. Well, 12 carries, 41 yards, 3 rushing touchdowns. He just shows you that he has a will to win. You just seeing him win in different ways. So he's gonna walk into the league and he's gonna be a winner. That's why his dad said, "Bro, we not going to no one of them organizations that don't know what the fuck they doing. That got a new coach in there every other week that don't really got their shit together." Like he's a winner, so he want to go into an organization that wants to win, that will build around him to win. That's where he want to go. So he's just showing you he can win, bro. He's just showing you that he a winner. He's just showing you it ain't got to be flashy all the time. It ain't got to be roll off this way, throw it with the left hand all the way across the body. No, he can just rush the ball for 12 carries, 41 yards, have 3 rushing touchdowns, and have 14 completions in a game and still win. He's just showing you that's who he is. So, like I said, I think he's the best quarterback prospect we've ever seen coming out of college football, ever. So that's where I stand with him. And that's what it is.
No, absolutely. Man, and that obviously concludes our sports section. We just kind of came up with this last minute here. We already know that the Drake, had dropped his good old For All My Dogs. And I think we should talk about it a little bit. I think we should talk about this good little masterpiece that Drake continuously to bless us with. And so all you Drake haters out there that say that Drake is not good, that's totally fine. I don't have anything against you, but numbers don't lie. And especially music don't lie either, because I know you be listening to some of his music. But for all the dogs, man, 2023. I remember in 2013 when Nothing Was the Same dropped out. I'm like, yo, I was already a Drake fan before that dropped. Obviously, so far, obviously with Take Care, all the classics. Drake, basically what I'm saying is I appreciate you, brother. Thank you for blessing my decade and my life, bro, with just great music. I don't care what anyone says on this, or they see this episode and say, oh, that man doesn't know music, or this man, this, that, and the third. This is a classic of a Drake album that I've ever heard in a long time. Because with Drake, you know you're going to get the emotional stuff. You know you're going to get the bangers. You know he's going to be talking about females. You know he's going to be talking about this and what he likes to do. This is a wonderful album. I'm not ranking because I don't do that. This is a album where I am thankful to go ahead and put these on, or go in my car, go for a walk, or be able to play and listen to this, bro. But talk to me about this, man. What you thinking about this? Because you already know we big Drake. Because Michigan State, that's what all we listen to, boy. I swear. I know I did.
Oh, most definitely. I walked into college listening to my dog Drizzy. So far gone. Replacement Girl in high school. I remember that was one of the first songs ever. Replacement Girl. I was listening to that back in 07. You feel what I'm saying? Like I already
Right.
this dude cold. But man, another Drizzy special, bro.
Right.
Like when he said for all the dogs, he was talking about for all the real Drake people, bro. You feel me? For all you know how they do all my day ones. I wouldn't even say it's for the day ones. It's for the ones that, found something special when they listen to Drake. You feel what I'm saying? Like
right.
this shit has a variety of vibes in it. Like I said, the first couple times I listened to it, Drake music is always like wine, bro. Like it always get better with time.
Right.
Like I'm sure when you listen to Take Care in 2011 and then you listen to that shit in 2014, like, bro, I still play Take Care to this day, and it gets better every time I listen to it.
Bro, who you telling?
Nothing Was the Same, masterpiece. Like, the honestly, never mind. People didn't understand that at first. I be banging that shit. Like, that shit cold to me. The 21 Savage. That Drake's music take time because he's not coming at you with like on some future shit. When you listen to Future, you know like, oh, this shit a banger. Oh, this a banger. This a banger. Drake has more. Whatever the most expensive bottle of wine is, that's his music. It's his music. It's like bro, that shit beautiful, bro. Like I said, I've been listening to it since it came out. But like yesterday, like I was watching the game, but I was listening to the song, like listening to like the album as the game was on, and I was just like, bruh, this shit tough, like tough, super tough, like 23 for 23 tough, like 23 for 23. All the songs are an 8 out of 10 at the least.
Yes.
Like it ain't no skips. Like Drake, I'm a Drake guy, so Drake really don't have skips to me. Like I'm listening to all the vibes anyway. But I mean, I listen to a lot of Future. He got some skips. Future, my dog. He got some skips. Uzi, my dog. If you know me, you know Uzi, Future, and Drake. Them is it for me. If I can only listen to 3 artists for the rest of my life, it'd be Drake, Uzi, and Future, and
Right.
I'd be good. But he's just showing you how he could go. This was for all the dogs. This shit was for all the dogs. If you know Drake and you know how he pull up, this was one of those. And real talk, bro, we haven't had one of these projects from him
In a
in
minute.
a minute. Like Certified Lover Boy was cool. That was on some shit like he was trying to chase bangers. You feel me? That was one of them albums where he was trying to chase bangers. He had a lot of features. He had just a bunch of songs with like a variety of different people on there.
Right.
What was it? Sorry for Your Loss. Your Loss. That was with the shit with 21. That was cool, but that was more on some. I'm doing every song with 21, so I'm gonna be on that type of vibe with 21 type vibe.
Right.
This shit was for all the dogs. This was for all the dogs. So you know I'm gonna continue to listen to it. I'm gonna continue to find gems in all the songs that I probably because there's about I can just play it straight off the back for sure. But there's about 8 songs right now that I play on repeat, and I can't even say 8, bro, because it's damn near about like 12.
Yeah.
It's like 12 that I'm on repeat with. Like when I play it, I just play it until I can feel like the frequency of what he's saying and why he's saying it. And feel Drake the GOAT, bro,
Facts.
and he just let y'all know
Facts.
I'm here to stay. So appreciate you, Drizzy. Fuck what they talking about. He was on his light skin shit though. He was on his light skin shit when he responded to Joe Budden though.
He was. But I ain't mad. I don't fault him though because Joe Biden did the Migos crazy too in the interview.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So he just hating individual, bro. That's all I gotta say.
Bro, they needed, bro. I would love to see a Drake and Joe Budden sit down like on some podcast, like just them two though, like not with the other dudes on there, just them two, and they
Right.
just kind of like going at it, but not going at it. You feel me? I would love to see that shit, bro. Because Drake ain't really done no interviews with nobody. He don't really do that shit. But why not do it with Joe Budden? Fuck all them academics, all them fucking weirdos. You feel
Right.
me? All of them. Joe Budden is one I would do one with. Why not, bro? Why not, bro?
Might as well.
Bro. Joe an asshole. If you know Joe Budden, you
Yeah,
know
he
he
has a.
that's who he is. But he credible though, bro. He ain't no motherfucker that don't
Yeah.
know what he talking about, bro. You feel me? And maybe he need to listen to it a few more times. And I'm sure in a week or two, when he really get to spin that shit, he gonna really be able to like, bro, no, this shit. You feel me? I jumped off the bridge too quick. But Drake is really that one. So I'll vibe. You feel what I'm saying?
Hey, you talking to somebody that love Drake, so I'm right with you. For all the dogs, man, I thank you, Drake. That's all I got to say because anytime that Drake come out with anything, and it's been like this since I was in high school, since I really like got implemented and listening to Drake, all I do is hit play. I go through one through whatever, and then at that point, I have probably like 6 or 7. I'm like, oh Lord. And then when I just have it on low and let it play, that's where I find everything. And then by damn near the week, thank you. Because I can just go ahead and wake up and make it so simple to hit play and shuffle and nothing but fire on there. But Hopefully, Drizzy finds this episode at some point in time in my lifetime. Who knows?
Oh, he will.
Who knows?
I'm be linked in with my dog. One thing I want to do with my dog Drizzy is I want to be in the studio with him and hear the songs that he have not put out.
Oh my God, that's one of
I
my
just want to hear
biggest.
the songs that
Yes.
he ain't never put out.
Yeah.
Fuck the songs we heard. I don't even want to see you. I don't even want to hear you create nothing new. I want to hear the songs that you got in the vault that you just probably don't want to play no more. Don't even want to put out.
He's got this game in a chokehold.
Bro, appreciate you, Drizzy, dog. That shit was well needed.
Absolutely. Perfect timing. And it's perfect timing. Obviously, we're going to be out of here on this good Monday. Hopefully, you're having a great Monday afternoon. Hopefully, you had a great weekend. Let's have a great, productive week. You already know, man. It's your boy RJ. I'm out of here. Liv, take us out, brother.
Hey, man, drink y'all water. That's it.
Hey, that's sweet and simple. We'll see you all on Wednesday, man. Peace out.
Yeah.